All right, this is lesson 11.5. We're going to multiply and divide rational expressions, and these are going to be basic ones. Later on, we'll look at long division. But today is just some reminders on some simpler problems. Basic multiplication of rational expressions. We know that we just multiply across. Sometimes we can cross cancel, and we'll practice that a little bit on the next slide. And for division, we have to remember that we're multiplying by the reciprocal. We're multiplying by the reciprocal. So if you come across anything that's new, remember, pause the video and jot it down. The reciprocal is always going to be the second fraction. Always the second fraction, not the first. So this problem could be tackled in a number of ways. Some of you might decide to factor everything. So we would say 7 times 2 times 5, and then we have 8 ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all over 5, 2 times 7, and we have 3 ends. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go ahead and 2 goes into 2 once. We're going to start simplifying. 7s can cancel out, the 5s cancel out, and then we have 3 sets of ends that are going to cancel. So we're left with n to the 5th as our final answer. Some of you might decide to just do some cross-canceling and simplify a little bit. Then we can reduce the 5 and the 10. And then if we start messing around with all these little exponents, you can do it. You can still cross-cancel or simplify, but sometimes it's helpful to condense it a little bit and then continue to simplify. And we still get n to the 5th. So there's no one correct way to approach the problem. Here's an example where we might have to factor after we multiply. So remember, from simplifying rational expressions, we have to change everything to multiplication. So this is basically what this problem is saying, correct? So we're going to group it all together, and we can't cancel anything out until we factor. So we're going to, from the denominator, we're going to take out a 3y. And in the second trinomial here, we're going to find something that multiplies to 5 and adds to -6. Then we're going to do some canceling, start to condense our problem a little bit, and then we look at the 1 minus y and the y minus 1. And you could leave it like this, but it's technically not simplified. And we say, can I get that 1 minus y to look like the y minus 1? So you're thinking back to the monkey that we had, I think that was just in the last lesson, where we factored out a negative. So when I factor out that negative, it changes the 1 minus y to y minus 1. So we end up putting the negative in front, and because these two end up looking the same, we can just square it. Again, remember to pause or rewind the video at any time. It's not a very long lesson. All right, in this instance, we have division, and division says we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So this second fraction, we're going to change the place of the numerator and denominator, and then the division becomes multiplication. Now we're going to, you could condense it, and then we're factoring. So again, yours might look different. I would pause the video and see if you can finish this problem. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video. What I did is I factored out a 5 And so that's why the 5 and the 2 became the 10. And then the 5 and the 4 here, I just combined that to be 20. And we could still continue simplifying, of course, because we have 10 over 20. And it simplifies to x plus 2 over 2 times the quantity x minus 2. So in this lesson, we combined what we knew about multiplying and dividing fractions with what we knew about rational expressions. We'll do some practice problems in class.